And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my friend Joe Lubin, if you'd like to take the stage. And my quick, shameless appreciation, Joe is one of our biggest supporters, and from the very beginning has said, I'm happy to make it go big. And with his support and literally dozens of other projects in concert, here we are today with over 2,000 people.
Thanks, John. We made it go big. Wow. This is epic. Denver is just so impressive. Congrats to the Denver staff. You nailed it again. And best of luck to all the builders out there. So I think we're expecting 2,000 people, nearly 2/3 of which will be biddlers. Pretty amazing. At DevCon this past October, Vitalik unveiled the roadmap for the multi-stage Serenity upgrade to Ethereum. As the community strives toward the realization of Ethereum 2.0, enthusiasts and, yes, many detractors. I'm not going to do slides, partially because it's not working, but mostly because I don't have slides. As the community strives towards the realization of Ethereum 2.0, enthusiasts and, yes, many detractors continue to take a hard look at Ethereum 1.0, hopefully to learn from it in order to build better future decentralized infrastructure. Ethereum 1.0 is a wildly successful experiment in the viability, utility, and potential of blockchain and distributed protocol technology. In a sense, it is a proof of concept, just as HTTP and HTML 1.0 were. But it is an amazingly capable proof of concept that has already enabled so many other concepts to be tried and proven. The foundations of DeFi, decentralized finance, and the next generations of games, identity, and reputation architecture are being pioneered on Ethereum 1. Scalability, privacy, and confidentiality have been known and accepted weaknesses since day one. But engineers have been solving these problems for decades, and engineers will soon have been solving these problems on Ethereum for a couple of years now. Aztec Protocol, for instance, will soon enable confidential transactions involving any token on the Ethereum mainnet. More on the amazing work to be done on scalability later. So what has Ethereum 1.0 taught us? Demand exists. We are witnessing the rapid growth of DeFi, the global, borderless, trust-minimized financial system. This emergence is underpinned by novel solutions that have come organically from this demand, including Maker and Dai, 0x, AirSwap, Uniswap, Augur, Dharma, Gnosis, DutchX, Gnosis Safe, and so many more. Ethereum 1.0 has enabled these early solutions, providing automated trust and deep cryptographic security for both existing and new participants, and ushering in a truly seamless global financial infrastructure where it currently exists as a set of siloed national systems linked and monitored via correspondent bank gateways. From here, demand will grow exponentially, and our solutions will continue to evolve. The composability and synergy that Ethereum fundamentally enables lends itself to creativity, composition, and a layering of technologies that will produce compounding effects. We're seeing so many of these synergies take shape in the ecosystem at large, and many will be on display here at ETH Denver. Your meals are delivered to you via one such synergy that John Paller will likely describe more as we go on later during the weekend. Ethereum 1.0 has demonstrated innovation in foundations. The innovation in the foundational elements of Ethereum are profound. The Gnosis Safe and MetaMask are bridging the gap between Ethereum's usability and security. 2 or 3 years ago, we published an article entitled, "The Wallet is the New Browser." Early indications are that we were not wrong. MetaMask's roadmap, once you get to know it, is astonishing. And devs like Austin Griffith are returning to the basics of everyday value transfer with innovations like the burner wallet, the POA XDAI chain, and chugging a beer nearly as quickly as he can send value at very little cost around the globe. Austin. The Rhombus Oracle project enables connection of real-world data to smart contracts. I hope some of you choose to hack with Rhombus in the next couple of days. Ethereum 1.0 has highlighted the importance of UI, UX. UX is evolving, becoming more human-centered, and more important in the daily adoption of blockchain technology. The Rimble design system introduces beautiful UI, UX standards to bridge Web 2 and Web 3, with tools to assist in building user-friendly dApps, and soon it will incorporate elements like badging and other reputational elements like levels of expertise. Meta transactions and universal logins are easing the onboarding to blockchain technology for the average consumer who might not care about the nuanced value adds of Ethereum. Additional wallet designs like Vault, Status, or Zerion's Tokenary seek to make Ethereum usable for the daily consumer, abstracting away lower layer protocols for trading, borrowing, investing, and saving. The lesson is that we can create the most rigorous solutions ever, but until we make them human and intuitive in their design, they won't see large-scale use. Ethereum 1.0 has seen vibrant experimentation. Experimentation and consistent developer innovation on Ethereum 1.0 is bursting, and it's incessant. From the great state of Colorado, Gitcoin's leadership in the open source dev and token space led to the development of the EIP LEET, or EIP 1337, allowing for subscription-based financial models long since proven effective in today's consumer market to be integrated on Ethereum. Kevin, Vivek, and team are indeed 1337. The ConsenSys diligence team is in the house. In addition to doing security audits to keep Ethereum projects safe, they're innovating with platforms like Penvala and Mythex to spread blockchain safety as widely as possible. In just a few days, Gnosis and DAOstack's DX DAO will go live as the governance layer of Gnosis's DutchX exchange. DutchX exchange is the first fully decentralized trading protocol that will eliminate all forms of improper manipulation of trading, like front-running by miners, for example. Martin Kopelman has made the outrageous prediction that DX DAO will be the largest financial structure on the planet eventually. Audacious, yes, but I personally would never bet against Martin, Stefan, and Friedrich and the Gnosis team. Martin and Matan Field of DAOstack made some interesting arguments to support this claim in a recent Epicenter broadcast, or podcast. I suggest you check it out. This early 1.0 wave of blockchain has also facilitated enterprise and government interest. Enterprise interest and government friendliness continues to grow. Globally, enterprise interest never slowed during the crypto winter, and we at ConsenSys have moved past the 2017 proof of concept phase with our enterprise clients and are deploying real-world production systems on Ethereum. We've seen the integration of Kaleido blockchain as a service into AWS, and soon it will be multi-cloud. Kaleido has 2,000 enterprise and consortium customers. We've built a rural banking network with Union Bank, linking over 100 rural banks in the Philippines. And soon there will be 500 tiny rural banks on the network settling transactions at the speed of blockchain rather than days or weeks. We helped launch the Comgo Commodities Trade Finance platform to enable commodities and financial companies to organize the financing of their trades on the platform. The first transaction was initiated by Citibank in December, right after the network went live. Importantly, this was built as an open network, not a closed consortium. Activity in the many special interest groups of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance continues to grow, as do the number of special interest groups. A new group is forming, the Tokenization Special Interest Group. Enterprises and tokens, a match made in heaven. Finally, the legacy enterprise world is getting it. Even JP Morgan just announced the Jamie coin, another price-stable token tracking the US dollar. I think there are around 120 stablecoin projects now, another foundational element that will enable DeFi. Alongside enterprise curiosity and real-world use, we see warming government opinions on blockchain and Ethereum. Around the world, places like Bermuda, Japan, and Singapore are embracing and facilitating the development of the financial aspects of blockchain technology by reducing regulatory uncertainty. In the US, Arizona and Ohio have both passed laws legally recognizing data stored and transacted on blockchain platforms. Our northern neighbor, Wyoming, has made great legislative strides, and here in the great state of Colorado, home to so much cutting-edge blockchain talent, I'm told the dialogue is progressing well of late. Enterprise and government interest brings even more talent, capital, and credibility to the space, and is a key component in the technology lifecycle. ConsenSys 1.0. Just as Ethereum is evolving from 1.0 to Ethereum 2, ConsenSys is doing the same. ConsenSys 1.0 focused on facilitating the vision and mission of the Ethereum project and fostering adoption for the technology that we all believe will profoundly transform the way we organize nearly all aspects of society going forward. Having helped open up an ecosystem, ConsenSys 2.0 has been organizing itself to continue help in the evolution of that ecosystem to maturity and to effectively compete and collaborate in that ecosystem with so many that have developed it alongside us and with the many more that are rushing in. What has ConsenSys 1.0 taught us? Talent is everywhere. There's a huge number of talented, curious, passionate, and fearless people committed to blockchain, and specifically Ethereum. Looking around here and on the web, it is obvious that the Ethereum ecosystem is bursting with talent, and the Ethereum developer is renowned worldwide to be as intrepid as the legendary Buffacorn. We at ConsenSys are lucky to count some of the best amongst our membership, and fortunate to work closely with many others in the space. Tens of ConsenSys members have shown up for this weekend, perhaps 30 or more. They keep coming out of the corners, and 1,200 of you have shown up to ETH Denver, one of the most fun and elegantly run Ethereum community events on the planet. Please note that ETH Denver is an Ethereum community event. John Paller bristled and chastised me when I called it a conference 2 days ago. ConsenSys 1 has made it obvious that blockchain is global. Blockchain is astonishingly global in nature. I think it is the first technology that became global at such early stages. It gained purchase in so many places around the world nearly simultaneously and is blossoming nearly everywhere unprecedentedly quickly. This phenomenon is a testament to the decentralized nature of the technology itself and to the mobility and warmth of the Ethereum community. Out of necessity, ConsenSys began life 4 years ago as a multinational startup. Today, we have over 1,000 people in 30 countries. Our community team has expanded across the globe, coordinating events and ConsenSys' presence at international blockchain, tech, culture, and arts events. Our solutions team has initiated joint ventures and partnerships in the fashion industries in Paris and Hong Kong, commodities trade industry in Geneva, finance industry in Bermuda, Spain, the Philippines, and the UK, smart cities in Dubai and China, the regulated decentralized exchange in Singapore, with several other similar projects in the works. ConsenSys 1 has experimented broadly with redefining the nature of work. This is now a major focus at ConsenSys we call Future of Work. Gitcoin, Sobel, Bounties, Colony, Aragon, DAOstack, many forms of tokenization, and soon Opolis are proving to us that we are on the right path by asking how we can work unconventionally in the pursuit of something better, equally for the people and for the projects. John Paller has described this as the era of the self-sovereign worker, and believes in the revolutionary idea that employment should be network-based rather than company-based. The gradient between freelance and employment will soon be smooth as Gitcoin and Bounties enable teams to expand, work to get done, and employees to eventually be hired with a click. Opolis will enable these creative people to have the benefits of full employment while maintaining the fluidity of choice in how they apply their talents in freelance work or with small startups. Gitcoin is working to bring larger enterprises into the mix. Hey, John? Any objection to me announcing the investment we talked about over lunch? You're good? Okay, cool. This isn't a normal investment. John's vision of an employment network that is more like a global utility. John's vision is of an employment network that is more like a global utility than a company. ConsenSys is proud to contribute 150 kilodai, or kilodollars, or ether, or whatever you want, as a bridge investment to serve as one of the initial planks in developing this platform. Optionally, we could send you 150 kilo Jamie coin if you want, if we can both get on that permission JPM network. I think it's Quorum, actually. So, Gitcoin kudos to those of you on and around the Opolis project who've labored hard to bring it this far. Gitcoin is also driving adoption and launching kudos, a way to acknowledge colleagues for their work or anyone for their contributions. And kudos are taking on a life of their own, soon to be applied in a wide range of domains. No. Ujo Music, a platform that links artists directly to their fans, is doing something similar, enabling fans to sport beautiful digital badges of the artists that moved them. When I was coming up about 100 years ago, the album art was nearly as important as the music. Ujo is hosting over 1,000 artists now and growing 20% month on month. And it is bringing back some of the artist-centered goodness that has been squeezed relentlessly out of the music industry. Bounty's proved the power of its platform to engage communities. This is the Bounties Network, to engage communities through an ocean cleanup project in Manila. Sobel, our internal organization software, soon to be available to other companies that value self-organization and eschew hierarchy, is helping ConsenSys develop and apply an explicit agreements fabric to coordinate everything we do and replace some of the clarity and accountability that is lost when hierarchy is no longer the organizing principle. Ethereum 2.0. As we transition towards Ethereum 2.0, enormous activity will continue with the current architecture of solutions employing the base trust layer, layer 1, and layer 2, the scalability layer. However, we recognize that the Ethereum 2 design is far more efficient, scalable, and more resistant to centralization. To recap Danny Ryan's thoughts on Ethereum 2, partly motivated by discussions at DevCon, we can visualize Ethereum 2 with 5 main pillars. Decentralization, resilience, security, simplicity, and longevity. Together, these qualities ensure Ethereum 2 will evolve into the radically decentralized, trust-minimized, and secure platform needed to serve as an anchor for what we are seeing emerge across the blockchain ecosystem. That is, an interoperable set of ledgers that emerge to allow parties to transact confidentially and securely. These ledgers will rely on a root coordinating ledger, a gear that keeps the entire ecosystem securely moving in sync. Just as Ethereum 1 is doing that now with respect to sidechains, state channels, TrueBit, snarks and starks mechanisms, and more, Ethereum 2.0 will provide that service on a far grander scale. John Walpert, famous for being instrumental in bringing IBM's Fabric and the Hyperledger Foundation to life, now labors in ConsenSys' Raleigh-Durham office, helping bring what he terms the stateful internet to life. All of us who work at the lower layers of decentralized protocols are doing exactly that along with him. By all decentralized authoritative accounts that I'm in touch with, Ethereum 2.0 is going very well. The Phase 0 spec is stable and is being built by multiple teams, with status as Nimbus perhaps in the lead. ConsenSys' Pegasus R&D and Artemis team are doing great work on this front. Optimistic viewers, like me for instance, feel that we may have clients from different teams syncing on the Beacon Chain testnet in a small number of months. Efforts for Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Ethereum 2.0 are getting started and are expected to evolve in parallel without much constraining interdependency. You're all aware of the Layer 2 scalability solutions that have recently come online and will soon come online based on the various sidechains, tech, state channels, relay mechanisms, TrueBit, ZK's Snark and Stark approaches to scalability. We even have an R&D effort in our Pegasus group that is working on bringing blockchain safety to SQL database constructs. A few of us at ConsenSys have been working on defining a throughput measure that we're calling DTPS, Decentralized Transactions Per Second. The measure would range from 0 to 1. A transaction on a siloed database would have a decentralization quotient, DQ, of 0. A transaction on an Ethereum-based permission consortium network might have a DQ that's very small, say 0.001. A transaction on EOS might have a DQ of 0.1. Ripple would be low, Litecoin and Monero would be higher. Let's peg Ethereum's and Bitcoin's DQ at 0.7 for the sake of argument. Decentralized transactions per second throughput, DTPS, would be defined as the TPS throughput of a network multiplied by its DQ. So currently, Ethereum can do somewhere north of 15 transactions per second. With a DQ of 0.7, let's call that about 15 times 0.7 equals 10 DTPS, or 10 decentralized transactions per second. A plasma-attached sidechain would have a DQ pretty close to 0.7, as with state channels and zero-knowledge scalability mechanisms. Our friends at FastX Exchange have a plasma-linked network that runs at 65,000 transactions per second. And the Plasma Group, Loom, and others are bringing their own scalability tech to the game space and other niches. As more networks and other mechanisms attach themselves securely and permissionally to the Ethereum-based trust layer, we should see, perhaps by the end of 2019, the Ethereum ecosystem support a DTPS of hundreds of thousands of decentralized transactions per second. True to form, the engineers are solving scalability. ConsenSys 2.0. As Ethereum matures rapidly into its 2.0 phase, ConsenSys is also rapidly evolving into ConsenSys 2.0. We've learned from our experiments during 1.0 and are applying these learnings. A few key goals currently define ConsenSys 2. In no particular order, goal 1 is consensus impact, IMP GKT, with a silent G so that we can make the acronym work. ConsenSys 2 will double down on protocol and application development through our impact spokes. Infura, MetaMask, Pegasus, Gitcoin, Kaleido, and Truffle will continue to serve as fundamental to ConsenSys's value add to the ecosystem. They will drive both developer engagement and enterprise adoption on the protocol and application layers. Goal 2 is building protocol-based open platforms. Protocol-based open platforms are crucial to breaking down large exploitative intermediaries, returning agency to individuals, and redistributing power and wealth in a more equitable manner. ConsenSys will double down on enabling, developing, and promoting these kinds of systems, both internally and with outside partners. We expect to be very active in the near term in issuing consumer utility tokens for such platforms, as well as issuing tokenized securities in a wide variety of contexts. Look for several token launches from ConsenSys in 2019. Goal 3 involves our focus on financial infrastructure. The future of decentralized, tokenized, trust-minimized finance is core to the realization of blockchain and Ethereum's potential. In the DeFi, decentralized finance future, rent-extracting intermediaries will no longer or only minimally be required to facilitate transactions and data sharing. The growing tokenization of assets will give rise to deep liquid global markets for so many things. These must be realized on radically decentralized platforms, where they will continue to be subject to the improper manipulations of inside traders that markets have experienced since the invention of, well, markets. By building and supporting such initiatives, Ethereum and ConsenSys will help usher in a new era of personal, open platform, corporate, and nation-state finance, with all being realized on nearly the same footing. The accomplishments of the many great companies and projects in the Ethereum ecosystem, including ConsenSys 1.0, have laid the foundation for the 2.0 phase of our ecosystem. The ideas, theories, software components, standards, design patterns, and UI, UX insights and breakthroughs have been developed, are maturing, and are being augmented by so many more innovations. These are exactly what we've needed to assemble the soon-to-be consumer-friendly application layer of Ethereum, the decentralized ecosystem, and in our corner, the more complex projects that ConsenSys 2.0 is tackling. Together, we will compose these parts into vehicles that will help each of us more fully realize and experience the potential we all felt upon our initial Bitcoin or Ethereum moment. Thank you. So 2 quick shout-outs. First, to the Tachyon Accelerator. Tachyon Accelerator will begin in April in Berlin and culminate a bunch of weeks later in San Francisco. Applications are closed for the Tachyon Accelerator, except if there are up to 10 great projects coming out of this hackathon. Contact John Paller or send a note on the website tachyoncv.vc, and exceptions can be made if you're interested in being part of that program. Finally, we're excited to announce here at Denver that we are now officially accepting applications for the ConsenSys Grants program that we unveiled back at DevCon 4. ConsenSys Grants will fund projects that are building the infrastructure, tools, and components required to improve the developer and user experience of Ethereum. This year, we're giving away $500,000, or DAI, or Jamie coin, if you can get on that network, in the following 5 categories: infrastructure, usability, social impact, education, and security. Grants will be dispersed via Gitcoin, of course, as other major grant programs are doing, in amounts of 10 kilodai or 20 kilodai, or 10,000, or 20, I think it's 25,000. Yeah. So it's $10,000 or $25,000. And grantee projects will be highlighted through ConsenSys Media and Cowrie, a technical knowledge community for the open source software. Head to grants.consensys.net, grants.consensys.net, to learn more and apply. Thank you all very much.